Yeah, I mean, especially in the school systems. When I think about LGBTQ plus, TI plus, QA, and when you think about all these ideas, and they're talking about in school, the teachers are allowed to promote these ideas to their kids, but they can't. The teachers aren't allowed to pray in school, and I think that's the biggest knock for me. If you're gonna allow one, you gotta allow the other.
Well,
because there's balance.
Of completely, but God is always going to be the final resistance to insanity, which is what I said about the Islamic countries, because there's always has to be a line. If money can corrupt, you'll agree with anything, because money can be printed. And if the idea is on the side of money, or if money is on the side of idea, you'll agree with anything. The only thing that's ever going to stop you is if you get to a religious conviction. Only God is going to get to a point where it says, it doesn't matter how much you pay me, it doesn't matter what you make me believe, it doesn't matter what the AI machine does, it doesn't matter how you've psyoped me and indoctrinated me, it doesn't matter how long you've been trying to convince me this is true. I know that my holy book and the God I believe in says this is wrong, so I refuse to believe. Only God is the final barrier to the absolute slave mind insanity. Which is why they fear God, which is why they don't want to teach children about religion. Children are the most susceptible and the most vulnerable and the most programmable people in a populace. So you have to be very careful when you analyze the ideas they're trying to purport to children, because they know children are the most susceptible to believing things. They're also the most susceptible to believing fallacy. It's kind of interesting. We don't teach children things that life will ensure they understand is true. You don't teach them about taxes or things that they're going to learn the reality of.
Money management, fiscal responsibility.
Yeah, because they're a hard reality that they're going to have to experience. So we let life teach them that. So we don't care. But we don't let life teach them these other crazy ideas, because if we did, they'd reject the crazy ideas. No, we indoctrinate the young children with the ideas that they'd naturally reject otherwise. If we deleted the idea of LGBT garbage from school, and we let a child grow up to the age of 18 in a normal functioning society, in a normal functioning educational system, and said, is that a man or a woman? It'd be very clear. And everybody knows life will teach them. We're only trying to indoctrinate them against their own eyes, against their own innate understandings of how society works for these insane ideals. But anything important that life's going to teach them anyway, we refuse to teach them. So you should look very carefully at any idea they keep pushing on children, because what they're actually doing is taking an idea which they know is garbage and finding the people who are most likely to believe it, finding the suckers and the gullible, effectively. Who's the most gullible people? Because this is bullshit. So who's gullible? Well, even the most stupid adults reject this because it's so ridiculous. Well, the children are gullible. And then they'll sit there and go, yeah, but the children don't run the world. Yet. Yet. And the psyop takes time. So it's fine. We're going to purport it on these kids. Only 10% will believe, 90% will reject. Next generation, 20% believe, 80% reject. Next generation, and eventually they get what they want. And these people and these families and those who are in charge have been in charge for a very long time because they think generationally. It's a different mindset that most people at home don't understand. You're at home trying to pay your rent. You're not thinking, how do I make sure my grandchildren don't have to pay rent? You're not. And if you are, you're still doing it wrong, because you've got inheritance tax and they're going to fuck you and they're going to take it all off you anyway. You're not doing it the way they're doing it. They're ensuring that there's a country somewhere that you can't even point to on a map that has a water supply. In 2072, the rights to that water supply expire, and it's now going to be owned by a private corporation that his great-grandson is going to own so people can drink water. That's how they think. So if they want a particular ideal instilled inside of a nation, even if it doesn't happen while they're alive, they don't care. And it's that degree of thinking that's hard to combat. And that's also why you have to be to a degree unreasonable, because if you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile.
Yeah.
Because they take an inch a year, and it adds up. So you have to draw a hard line and say, no, I won't give you an inch. I'm not, you can call me racist and homophobic and bigoted, and you can put me in jail and call me a misogynist. No, I won't give you an inch, because I know where it ends up. So you have to draw that hard line, and God makes it easier to draw the hard line because it's haram. Oh, but he's gay and haram. Yeah, but haram. Hard line. That's why they don't like God, because there's a hard line. They don't want you to have a hard line. What they want you to have is what most conservatives have. Because conservatives are rational, reasonable people.
Yeah.
And what they do is they give you a line, and conservatives are like, oh, maybe it's nuanced and it's a bendy line. And slowly, bro, the conservatives of today were the liberals of 20 years ago.
They just keep on pushed back a little bit by a little bit by a little bit by a little bit.
That's right.
Quick bathroom break.
Sure.
and then we'll be right back. Another quick merch plug. Definitely go pick up the Free Thinker hoodie. We have it in a hoodie and a t-shirt. Brand new for this episode. This only works because you guys support our efforts, are part of the Free Thinker army. And if you don't want some merch, hit the donation link. Appreciate you guys. Let's get back to the episode.